Before last night's presidential debate, we got an inside look at the preparations with some veteran political strategists. Their names are Senor and Michael Feldman. You know them because they're veterans.
Yes.
Including the psychology behind the opening handshake. But as we all know, that handshake did not happen, and that set the stage for a tense and feisty confrontation between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Dan and Michael are here now with reaction. Guys, great to see you.
Yes.
We were sitting there. I mean, unbelievable.
Yes.
What would have happened if he had reached out?
I think she would have taken a step back. I don't think there was anything in it for her to shake his hand after the country was seeing them for the first time after this video, this vulgar, predatory video had been out. Nothing in it for her to have any kind of
But Dan, neither one of them made a move toward each other, but they did shake hands at the end. Does that mean anything to you?
No, I just think she was responding to him saying something nice about her, that she wasn't a quitter.
Yeah. Let me ask you about,
it was quick.
Yeah. He was repeatedly pressed about the tape by the moderators. And he repeatedly described it as locker room behavior. How do you think that played?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know how well it played with the very small number of people right now who are sitting on the fence between the Republican establishment fleeing Donald Trump and staying with him. And that potentially is the most important audience. He clearly made a decision he was going to move past this. And the best defense is a good offense, and stay on the attack last night and not use any of that airtime on the defensive. And she came prepared to make a connection between the tape and a larger pattern of behavior, or what she sees are core traits in him, but then not dwell on it. And I think both executed on that strategy.
And how about the way they moved on the stage? You know, there are a couple times there are memes going around that it said he was lurking over her, that he was, you know, sort of hovering behind her. Does that say anything to you at all?
Other
than giving SNL ammunition?
I thought it was weird. I thought her positioning on the stage was perfect. I thought his hovering was weird. I thought his shaking back and forth as she was speaking from the split screen was weird. At the end of the day, I'm not sure it'll matter that much.
Does this fairly depict where the Republican Party is? This is from the New York Times. The Republican Party was at the brink of civil war on Sunday as Donald J. Trump signaled he would retaliate against lawmakers who withdrew their support from his campaign. And senior party leaders privately acknowledged that they now feared losing control of both houses of Congress.
Yeah, I think that's real. Very few Republican leaders I know believe that Trump should be president or Trump will be president. I don't think that has changed. I think the standard has really dropped now. The standard used to be, can Trump win? Now the standard is, or the standard heading to debate was, can he do well enough in the debate that he won't be forced off the ticket? Because the news...
Did he do that?
Yes, I think he prolonged life as the nominee.
How does the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, continue to stand by the nominee who stood by the comments that when he says you can do anything, you can grab them by the P word? And how do you stand? How does a Republican then, if they want a future in politics, stand by that? I mean, you can.
Nor after he used the word too, he was sickened by Donald Trump's behavior.
Sickened. Is there a real test for?
And the same speaker who wanted the party to outreach to women and
I
African Americans.
It's the same question for every Republican leader. It's the same question for Mike Pence. I mean, you can just go down the list. All of these leaders have to think about what it says for the party and their own futures. In the near term, what they're hearing from many of their rank and file, from the members of Congress. I spoke to a few members of Congress over the weekend who are first, second-term congressmen who are saying, look, I'm going to win my district. I'm going to win my race, my re-election. My only concern is a majority of the Republican voters in my district are still sticking by Trump. If I just keep my head down, I'll win re-election. If I take on Trump, I'm playing with fire. They could turn on me like that, and I can lose my election. There's a political calculation.
Paul Ryan has power.
Yeah.
Does he stand to lose more by disendorsing or remaining quiet?
Look, my counsel to every Republican, I've been very public on this, that it's best to distance yourself from Donald Trump. Now, honestly, what Speaker Ryan has a series of equities he's got to balance within his own conference, and what the party does in the future that I can't speak to, but just generally speaking, as far as the future of the party is concerned, I think the more distance with Trump, the better.
But, Mike, he's not doing anything to expand his base. Rudy Giuliani made all the rounds yesterday, saying he's ashamed and embarrassed. He's going to be very contrite. He was quite the opposite when he came out yesterday.
Yeah, look, I agree with that. I don't think he did anything to reach out to new voters. He may have stopped the bleeding among the establishment, kept his core, energized his core, made the decision for people like Speaker Ryan very complicated today. And by the way, it's not just a down-ballot conversation. Speaker Ryan has to worry about the caucus that he's going to be governing in next Congress. And there are divergent views on how this should be handled. So that's a very difficult position for him. But look, we're not talking about who's going to win the election and whether the debate move that now. We're talking about what's the impact going to be down ballot. What is the makeup of both houses of Congress? That's a vastly different
So as far as
conversation.
everybody's concerned, the election is over.
Well, it's not over. It's never over, believe me.
Consider this. We're less than 4 weeks out. 1 in 4 Republicans today, 1 in 4 Republicans believe Donald Trump should not be the nominee. It's just unprecedented that you have this proximity to a general election and that number of members of a party believe they got the wrong guy.
Yeah, but he seems to believe he doesn't need the party. We will see.
Right.
Listen, we will be right back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.